Plastic waste has been on the news agenda for a long time now, and it's an issue that's not going away. And this is problematic for convenience stores because of what they sell. So what exactly does the government have in mind? What is on its agenda for legislation? Let's hear from some policymakers. First of all, from DEFRA.
The kinds of things DEFRA is looking at the moment to try and reduce single-use plastics and make sure that more of the plastic we do use gets recycled. The first thing is our resource and waste strategy, but there are some specific policy areas. We've already seen enormous success with our carrier bag charge, and the Prime Minister announced plans to extend that charge to smaller shops. A consultation on that will be due later this year. We've also announced plans to introduce a deposit return scheme subject to consultation. But typically how a deposit return scheme works is for every bottle that's placed on the market or drinks container that's placed on the market, there'll be a small deposit or fee on that bottle which consumers can get back when they return that shop, either to something like a reverse vending machine or to a shop, and get that money back. We've seen enormous success around the world with deposit return schemes, encouraging really high return rates, much higher than we currently achieve. So that's something we would really be looking to replicate.
The key thing about a deposit return scheme is that it has the potential to be a massive alteration in the way in which we recycle. But it's only one part of a broader set of things that we wanted to do. We've been inspired, of course, by Sky's Ocean Rescue campaign and also by the work of so many people in civil society who want to ensure not just that plastic bottles, but also that all of the plastic waste that we generate is effectively recycled. And a deposit return scheme could be a game changer. But I have to stress, important as it is, it's only one part of a broader network of things that we need to do.
In our sector, there would be very significant costs in terms of our small stores, in terms of the space, the portion of space taken up by a reverse vending solution and manual returns. Every member I speak to says that are just not feasible. The idea of taking back dirty containers over a counter where you're selling food.
As we've heard from James, a deposit return scheme for independent retailers is going to be very problematic. But there are some schemes already in place. So we went to have a look at one in Canary Wharf.
We looked at kind of how can we help the public to separate plastics so that they can be as recyclable as possible. And then we looked at potential solutions, and one of them was obviously deposit return system and installing one of these machines and seeing how it will work and how it resonates in a large commercial shopping centre like this one. I have an empty bottle that's purchased from Seapress. What happens is the bottle goes into the machine. There's a 360-degree scanner which detects that it's a Seapress bottle. It then makes you press for a receipt. So then you collect your receipt, and on the receipt is written, claim your 10p discount at Seapress.
So that looks quite complicated, and in fact there is quite a big system running behind that piece that we saw there. But there are still some small measures that independent retailers can take. So let's go and have a look at what's actually happening in the marketplace.
We have various areas of the store where we're actively at work on reducing waste. We sell most of our fruit and veg loose without packaging, so that customers can also buy as little or as much as they need. If they only need 1 carrot, they can just grab that. So we're trying to help with budgets in that way. We have over 40 different loose dry products available for sale, from cereals to rices and grains and pastas, chocolate buttons and seeds and nuts, and that's a way for people to bring their own containers and to use the dispensers so that they don't have to buy pre-packaged versions of those items. And we've seen a real upsurge in customers caring about this agenda, about waste and about plastic packaging. Recently, it's created a lot of conversation online on our social media platforms, and we've seen products like bamboo toothbrushes going up in sales, and all products across the store that are either low packaging or no packaging. So we're really seeing a difference in people, the amount of people that are starting to care about this issue.
It's great to see that retailers are already taking steps to be more environmentally friendly in their stores. But one way the whole sector can reduce plastics in their store is by charging for carrier bags. Earlier this year, we worked with the Department for Environment to encourage independent smaller retailers to charge for carrier bags. We developed this animation as well as retailer guidance and a poster to display in store to help retailers do that. And we've seen some successes in the number of retailers charging for carrier bags, but we welcome the government's announcement that they will be consulting on extending the charge to smaller retailers.
Of course, much of what we've seen is not necessarily going to be compulsory. Some of it is subject to consultation and some of it might not be viable in the long run. But there is no doubt that plastic waste is an issue that is not going to go away, and it's something that convenience stores will not be able to ignore.
My name's Conrad Davis. I'm the owner of the Spar store in Pwllheli in North Wales on the Llyn Peninsula. It's a store that's been here since 1970, opened by my father and grandfather, and I'm the 5th generation to be running it. 12 months ago this month we closed for 4 weeks and had an extensive refit in terms of completely reinvigorating the store and changing the whole dynamics of it really to get the mix changed. One of the things we want to do when we're doing the store is look at the environmental impact and where we can make changes. So one of the first things we did was we brought in the paper bags where we could. So all our produce, you can now pack it in paper bags. All our bakery lines are in paper bags and compostable items. We also brought in a range of breakfast cereals, mueslis and porridges that are in dispensers. You can use your own container. Along with the orange juice machine as well, where you can bring in your own bottle and use that as well. And it's where we can go now further with this, which is such as the coffee cups and all the food to go items, and it's something we're now looking to do and what we can actually do to look at our impact environmentally.
Locavore started about 6 years ago. We're a social enterprise, like an ethical supermarket. We are funded by Zero Waste Scotland's Waste Implementation Fund, and so they've given us £100,000 to basically install the infrastructure that we have here at the shop, which provides the reduced plastic shopping experience. So things like loose good containers. We've got a milk vending machine which supplies milk in glass bottles rather than plastic. All of our kind of oils and vinegars and sauces are all sold in jars loose, so customers are really encouraged to bring their own packaging and containers and refill from there rather than buying everything individually packaged.
I'm Marissa Lippiott, Head of Resource Efficiency at Zero Waste Scotland. Zero Waste Scotland is a publicly funded organisation funded by the Scottish Government and European Regional Development Funds, and we exist to help consumers and householders, local authorities and organisations across Scotland be more efficient with resources, scarce resources that are valuable to us across the economy. Yes, so plastic has really become quite an issue in the last few months after the Blue Planet programme, but it's something that we've been working on for a long time. And what's happened now is that public awareness has really increased, and that's to all of our advantage. You know, we really have to look at how plastic is used across the economy, and also to try to reduce it as much as possible. Where we can't reduce it, we really must try to recycle it and keep the value within that plastic and keep it circulating around the economy.
Within our dried loose goods area, things like oats, grains, flakes, pulses, all that kind of stuff is really popular. We can't actually fill the oats quick enough. People kind of love it. By buying in bulk, we can pass on that saving to our customers. So while everything is organic, it is a really competitive price.
However, we should remember that some plastic packaging is necessary, and quite often it's difficult to weigh up how much plastic packaging is required as opposed to, you know, sometimes without that plastic packaging there may be some food waste caused. Classic example that's given is often with regard to the cucumber. The humble cucumber without packaging will last 3 or 4 days, but with a plastic cover tends to be 14-15 days sometimes. So it's just weighing up. We don't want food waste, but we do not want excess packaging either across the system.
Packaging things like meats and cheese and yogurt, we're currently there's no solution to that yet. So we still do produce packaging and we still sell stuff packaged.
We are working with a number of organisations, from large retailers, UK-wide retailers, all the way down to small local retailers like this one we have here today. And what we want to do is really encourage collaboration, I think, across across universities, with industry, and with consumers to try to work out what it is, what's the next thing that's coming now. I know that there's some interesting innovations going on at the moment, very early stage, and it might take us 3-5 years to get to the point where we've got a sustainable plastic packaging system. But at the moment we're really keen for anyone with ideas to get in touch with us, and we have funding available at Zero Waste Scotland.
My advice to other retailers would be go for it, take the leap of faith. It's not as hard as it seems. You know, buying the infrastructure, kind of learning all about the infrastructure and buying it was a really interesting journey. So, and our customers are very grateful and are really happy that we have this here and that we've brought this to the south side of Glasgow. So, yeah, I would say to them to go for it.
The momentum's there, and I think we've really got to make the most of it. It's all about behaviour change.